Good evening, all. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying the festive activities. Well, at home anyway. So tonight, welcome to round 6 at Interlagos, Brazil. World GT3 Championship brought to you by CXR Racing. So tonight we have the usual team on board. So we've got Phil and Ruben. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, boys.
I hope you haven't eaten too much Christmas pudding and feeling sick.
I'm still stuffed.
Christmas pudding. What's Christmas pudding?
Oh, it's vile concoction of crap. You don't want to know, Ruben. Honestly, it's
I
vile.
don't.
Is that
Them
not
the
a
mince
worldwide
pies, but that's
people
another
not...
story for another day, I think.
I mean, I know.
Right.
I suppose everywhere has their own Christmas traditions. I know Italians have like a big, massive. I can't remember what it's called now, but
it's more New
massive
Year's
kind of
than
cake.
Christmas.
Oh, is it more New Year?
Yeah, they have the panettone, which all
That's
you
it,
English love
panettone.
buying.
Yeah, it's nice though. It's nice.
Oh, it is. If you get the right one, it is. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, we digress somewhat. So, yes, interesting. Last time we were here, it was very eventful. I'm trying to recall what class it was in. It was in GT3.
Yeah, it was GTE. It was GTE, and we had GTE Pro and GTE Am. I was actually watching it back before, and the amount of cars going down that back straight, it's maybe it's no wonder there was an accident somewhere, but yeah, wow. So anyway, yeah, looking at the championship table, Peter Smith currently leading the way, 114 points. Luke McEwen, not too far behind, is it? I mean, obviously there's quite a bit of a gap. 24 points there, so That is a race win where Peter isn't racing almost to catch.
He could take the day off, couldn't he?
Yeah, then we've got Torres with 88 points, Nacho Gaspar at 85 points, Stephen Bird with 78, and Mark Fletcher with 71. And then there's a little bit of a gap to Aaron Rose with 58 points, with Callum Brandt on 57 points, just close behind him. So, yeah, looking at the table, Peter's obviously slightly steaming away with it, but it's very close for second, third, fourth, fifth as well. I mean, sixth. Mark could still even like sneak in there as well. Just needs one solid round, maybe a win here. So you never know, and that'll get him back right up there in contention to maybe take a second place in the championship. So all to fight for.
Certainly is. You stole all my thunder now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I think
so. Let's not upset the RC boys. So who's in the box tonight for them?
We got the whole crew, I believe. I think it was the whole crew.
They're all squeezed in there after too many mince pies, are they? So you got Neil, Aaron, and Ed, I believe, is it?
Yeah, we have the whole crew in that.
Done a sterling job last week at the mighty Monza. I'm actually quite surprised how little penalties have been given out this season. So it just goes to show everyone's behaving accordingly, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
so who are we with at the moment? Matt Hodges. Is it Matthew Hodges? Oh, Billy Fletcher now.
Exciting setting. So just for the first few laps.
So just coming up to 5 minutes gone. So Ruben, our super spy, sniffing around in practice. Who was our leaders in practice? And who's sandbagging?
Well, I don't think we're at a point where people not really sandbag anymore during our leagues. People just want to show up, be quick, and try to do better the next day. And try to do their best on the actual race day, but it were the usual suspects, as in Peter Smith, Luke McKeon, the Luxem boys seem pretty quick as well. Aaron Rose, Lewis Rose. So yeah, but it's the usual suspects that we've seen before. So, but like we just saw in the championship table, there's still a lot to fight for, apart from the gap that Peter has points wise. So yeah, I'm really looking forward. It's a really nice track. It's not that easy to overtake. I reckon the most overtakes will be done at turn 1 and maybe turn 3, but it all depends, of course, on how quick the driver in front is, or if he makes a mistake or not. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Good. Should be. It was, from memory, it was a good race last time in the GTEs. So hopefully we'll have some nice close racing again. It's been quite a competitive series actually so far, which is nice for everyone watching. And I think it's fair to say Peter's laid down the gauntlet quite formidably so far this year.
Yeah, he's just been the most consistent and in front. That's the main thing. But then again, we talked about this before. We've seen the same last season, where he was fighting for the championship win with Adam Southgate, and he had one bad race at Summit Point, where he eventually even dropped out of the race, and that eventually cost him the championship win. So,
yeah.
I mean, it could happen tonight. It could happen in the last round. So you never know. Even an internet connection issue could be the one that separates it in the end. So, and especially with all the boys so close behind in points, yeah, like I said, still lots to play for.
Yeah, no doubt he'll be aiming for 26 points clear before the last round, which would be nice. Always a nice position to have sewn up before the last race.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that gap. He's almost clear to a full race win. But then again, you want to create that gap, because I think it was 1 point separated Adam and Peter last
Correct,
season.
Yeah. And Peter would have won on countback if they tied as well, from memory.
Exactly. So that just shows 1 point. So
Makes a difference.
Yeah, if he wants to seal the deal, he just keeps to be consistent as he's been before, not make any mistakes, and just get a good finishing position. Especially look into P2 in the championship as well. So that's something he just needs to focus on. But
No, good point. So we have got 2 rounds left. We have got the mighty. Are we doing Spa next week and then Silverstone, or are we doing Silverstone next week and then Spa?
no, Spa
No,
first,
Spa.
and then
We're going to do Spa first. Okay.
yeah, we're gonna end with
good
Silverstone.
one to finish on, Spa orders. But yes, we had that little week 13 problem. I think it was, wasn't it? The update.
Yeah,
problem.
we won't.
Yeah.
We won't in the future because we will be adding the a skip week for any week 13 activities.
Cool. It's more scheduling nightmares to sort out.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense. Everyone knows what we're kind of doing then for that week. There's no surprises. No one's hanging by a thread.
Yeah. Well, maybe something like you say, just need to have a look at in case they're doing the BOP changes.
I must say we did run a race eventually that night, although it just wasn't a league race, but we did run Silverstone with the newer cars, being the Lamborghini, and yeah, it was. If that's gonna be the race for the final race of the season, then it's gonna be a very good one, I can tell.
So, in case anyone's wondering what we're doing next season, we don't know yet. So, any suggestions, fire them in and we'll consider them. It's about time we did another GT. Oh no, we've done GT3s for ages, haven't we?
Well, we had to quite mix it up. I mean, we had the MX-5, the TCRs, the GT4s, the GTEs, and the GT3s. So
we've been doing this a long time, Ruben.
Yeah.
So I think we've done our fair share of. I think probably half the seasons must be either GT3s or GTEs. I think because they're the most consistent.
yeah,
class,
well,
aren't they?
and
The most popular class.
also, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Most popular. I think it's just the biggest turnout. I think that's something that you see overall on our racing itself as well. Obviously, the Lara LMP2 is quite a favorite car for people to drive, and now with the new IR 01, the Dallara sort of prototype F1 car that's been brought. It's interesting to see how people are liking that car.
Yeah, I'm still unsold on that new car. I don't know. I mean, it just looks.
Which one?
It looks a little bit too weird for me. The wheels are massive compared to the body shell. It just does. It doesn't have any like proper rear wing.
That's true, but then again, think about the F2 cars. They drive
yeah.
with the 18-inch, and it's sort of have that similar look, where you think, "Wow, that's big," and obviously that's going to be the same rim model that they're going to use in 2022, if I'm correct.
Yes. No, I think maybe is it this year? No, I think it was 2022 when the race car actually launches. Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, it's. But yeah, then again, it's a new car that's been brought out, an F1 style car, V10 engine. So, and people been driving it. But then again, if you just look at all the races, the official races on our racing, you definitely see the most people in the GTEs, GT3s.
Oh, did we style there? Sorry, Ruben.
You see Stuart Weiner said doing a little pirouette. So Byron Racing saying GTEs for next season.
GTEs.
We've got the electric ones in this series. We do electric. You can do one.
Are we allowed to swear on Twitch?
Hey, you can do what you like. It's your channel, mate.
What the hell?
Can't stop there, does it?
Electric cars.
No electric cars.
Get with it.
No electric cars. We want real engines.
Oh, meow. Oh, dear. So, Mazda MX-5s it is then?
I heard from Phil that the MX-5 with some new updates is surprisingly nice to drive again.
And it's fun to drive. It is fun to drive,
It's always a
especially.
good car to drive. It's always fun to drive, isn't it?
I did a few laps at Le Mans the other day, and it was very interesting to drive around such a long circuit in a car like that.
How many days did that take you?
Yeah, it took a long time, but then after then, I watched the race. I didn't participate in it myself, but I watched the race, and the race was really good. It was like literally cars were bumper to bumper all the way down each of the Mulsanne straight. It looked great.
Yeah, but when we've done the MX-5s, it's always been close racing as well, hasn't it? Trains.
Oh
and
no,
cars.
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. But we had that again, an update from iRacing where it just messed with the whole tire model, and it felt like driving on ice.
Out, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, that wasn't quite nice. So yeah, who knows? We see Wine is putting in touring cars. Megatail, the HPD.
The touring cars are only one. Are they still one manufacturer at the moment? Is it mainly Audi or something? I can't remember now.
Fortunately, yeah, just Audi.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is.
HPD. What's that? High performance diesels.
Honda power.
A Honda prototype. So an LMP2 car as well.
Oh yeah, LMP2. That'd be cool. We haven't done them yet, have we?
No.
Got to try and find something that bridges the popularity spectrum as well.
Well, you can think about, like we talked about earlier, is the open wheelers.
What, the old
Dallara,
stuff?
Dallara F3 seems quite a popular car as well for open wheeler cars. But the thing you've got there is the damage model. It is quite nice, but you can so easily lose a wheel. And yeah, you don't want people being discouraged by the whole damage model. Then again, if it's there, and you have to drive with it. But
So anyway, to the qualifying in hand. So currently, Peter Smith, no surprise there, is leading with 132.24. Just shooting down quickly down the timing sheet. The first 17 second in it. So I think that just reinforces the issue you were saying earlier about it's going to be close, and I don't think there's a lot of room for overtaking. So it'll be consistency will play a key, no doubt.
yeah.
And we're just on board with Kieran Smart at the moment. And
Very
I think
with
he
the
was.
tyre.
It wasn't he in the top 6 in practice? I swear when I looked before, it might have been earlier on in the practice, but I mean, so Kieran's got that top 6 time in him. So there's quite a few. I think there's still quite a few to move around. There's another 9 minutes, left to go.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just under 10 minutes. So yeah, plenty of time. We've seen it most rounds that someone jumps it on the lap of death at the end, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's no reason
really
why it won't be
wide. Everyone's really taking a wide line going into this last one.
I presume there's no penalty for doing that, is there?
Well, they take the
off
track to get the they'll take the off track, but they do it to get the best run onto the main straight.
Yeah, but you invalidate your lap though, don't you?
Only
not
that
if
lap.
it's before, yeah.
Not this
Only
lap.
the lap.
So it's not that lap plus one then. It's
Nope.
just the lap you're on. Because iRacing used to invalidate your second lap, didn't it? If you were too close to the finishing line.
No, that was Project Cars. I think that was another. That was another
I
game.
shouldn't swear, should I? No. That was it. Which actually made sense, I suppose, because in that case it would be for that.
And this evening, Kieran in his regular casual outfit.
Yeah, very
no Christmas jumper.
Boring, isn't it? He's in his accountant attire, isn't he?
This is probably his week off, and he's not wearing his Christmas jumper.
He's probably still hungover.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh. Every time we show him on camera.
I was going to say. Every time.
You give him the commentator's curse. We see 2 Ferraris a little bit more forward in front. P4 Morgan Thompson, P7 Callum Brand. You've not seen them.
Yeah, it looked like he just got a bit held up. And
yeah.
don't know what these guys are doing. Just maybe a little parade lap, cooling the tires down, maybe.
Trying to create a gap, but they have to keep an eye on the relative
Yeah,
box
'cause
for the cars behind them.
that could have cost Peter a little bit of time, though. Maybe. It's always worrying when you don't really know what a car is doing in front of you. Morgan Thompson crossing the line. I don't think he bettered his time. He did actually do the fastest sector 3 time at 13 point and scanning through, see how it's just 100th of a second. Aaron Rose, I think, the second closest. Fastest sector 4 time.
And yeah, Byron, you saw that quite well. Morgan is driving a Captain Morgan livery this evening.
That used to be my typical choice.
Not Stan Rump. Me, thank you.
What are you, wife beater Stella, are you? Or
Come on, the odd tipple of vodka every now and then, but I'm not a big spirits drinker, to be honest.
so you're a lager out, eh?
Lager lad.
Bit of wife beater Stella Artois.
I wouldn't touch that. Right. Just over 5 minutes to
Happy
go.
down as an IPA, man.
Oh, you can't beat your old craft lagers. Can't beat the old craft. All right. No HPD.
Oh yeah.
The race round Brewdog.
What, is Neil going to join us in the HPD then?
Aaron Rose moves up place.
I suppose if we leave Phil to choose on his own, he'll go for V8s, wouldn't you?
Oh, that would be amazing. I'd like to finish a race though with more than like 2 cars.
So last 5 minutes of qualifying. Luke McKeon jumps into P3. He did a 32.301.
So Netcha Gaspar is currently leading. I just see that. Just shaved Peter Smith's time. Fastest in quali, was it Luke? Sorry, in practice. I think it was Luke off the top of my head. Or was it Peter? I can't remember now. But Luke was up there for a little while, wasn't he?
No, I think it was Peter.
Yeah.
And Luke McKeon was 100th of a second slower. So he was in P2, but Nacho Gaspar definitely having a good qualifying so far. You could say he was sandbagging in practice. He did a 33.4 and now did a 32.220, so...
Can you do that in iRacing? Handicap people, the old ballast.
You can only do it
to
a car day. Yeah, I think you can only do it to a car class. You can't actually do it to
individual. No.
Yeah, you can't do it to individuals.
Which would be cars, wouldn't it?
It would be quite nice, actually.
It'd be nice to run like a heat race, and then
do
it based off the results from the previous race.
It. Or you could do reverse grid, because you know how much everyone would love that. So currently on board with Paul Meunier. He's currently sitting in 9th.
By the way, Neil putting something in as well with the radicals with a fixed setup.
Yeah.
Apparently people love to drive that as well. I don't think I've ever driven a radical, to be honest.
Very fun car to drive.
It's the Mazda equivalent of open wheelers, isn't it?
Well,
It's a little bit faster.
Oh no, it's a Skippy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was going to say it was a
Sorry,
little bit faster than a Mazda.
Oh, Joel Evans seems to be on quite a decent lap. Puts himself in P4. There you go.
I'm noticing there's a lot of
Thousands. Well,
Yeah,
on
that's
my
what I was going
screen
to
it
say. There's
shows
a
it
lot of them
thousands
that
of
are,
a second, but apparently on Phil's overlay it shows 0.000. So that's how close it is.
I was going to say there's a few pairings if you're whipping down that are going down to 1,000th or two. So there's 3 or 4 pairings on there. Interesting.
So we are missing Jaume Torres tonight. But 2 of his fellow Spanish drivers are doing quite a good job. Nacho Gaspar currently in P1, Paul Mounet in P5, and the other Spanish driver in 24th, Jonathan Vinagre.
2 of them sound French.
What?
So 2 of them sound French.
See, I guess I would say Paul Mounet
Was definitely French, yeah.
Which sounds French. But I mean,
And
maybe
so
I'm
I
just
would
saying
say
it wrong
Vinagre
or
was
reading
as
it
well.
wrong. Yeah, so.
Then again, I think Paul was a real typical Spanish first name.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but Paul's also a French name, isn't it? Jean-Paul.
Yeah, but Jesus.
Someone clip that, please.
We have to get the old. I want you to clip the old. I can't remember who was it. Was it Paul Whitehouse or Harry Enfield? I can't remember. Did the old Dutch one where they go "stop" all the time.
He
We
did
need
what?
to find that for Ruben.
It's
Yeah,
all right. We've got to find
I'll
a clip for
that.
you, Ruben. You'll understand
that.
once you see it.
There you go. The 25 minutes of qualifying is now up.
Hurrah!
That means we can get to the racing. That's what we're all here
So
by the
for.
who
way,
is out? There's still a few out on track.
By the
Anyone
way, I
do a
didn't
fast
want to
one?
say it on stream, but somebody already put it in the old Twitch chat. Monkey, you are the fastest HPD driver.
Who is Megatail?
I don't know. The GOAT. Howdy, Ed. Evening.
It's a new account, I reckon. It's
there
new.
you go.
Morgan
Peter
goes in
Smith puts
second.
himself in P1,
And Morgan,
and Morgan
goes
Thompson in
second.
P2.
Oh, wow.
Only separated by thousandths of a second. And they were both 5,000ths of a second quicker than Nacho Gaspar. Wow, that's been the closest qualifying we had so far.
Ooh.
Paul Monet still on his lap though. Same goes for Mark Fletcher.
Any of them green? Who we got? We've got Mark's green. Paul Mugnot's just gone to a third yellow in the fourth sector. So
We're ending
Need
the
a
lap
purple.
with Mark Fletcher.
no, in the pit.
And he goes in. Paul Monet. And he's also coming into the pit. Then we have Dries Kader and Jonathan Vinagre still on track. But again, Mark, you called it before, nicking it in the final lap of qualifying.
It's a common tactic by the looks of what we've seen before, previous seasons. But you certainly don't expect it to be as close as the top 3 are tonight.
No, that's the closest we've had for all the races.
Yeah, let's quickly just take a look at the standings again while we wait for the grid through, as I think it actually just came through. So we go straight to it. And I'll let one of you run out of breath.
There we have it. the results from the qualifying round 6 at Interlagos. On pole position, it's Peter Smith with 1/1000th of a second. P2, Morgan Thompson, Nacho Gaspar on P3, Luke McKeon P4, Joel Evans P5, Callum Brand P6, Paul Monet P7, Mohamed Janko P8, Aaron Rose P9, Mark Fletcher P10, Lewis Rose P11, Kieran Smart P12, Billy Fletcher on P13, Adam Southgate P14, Matthew Hodges P15, Matthew Dambreen P16, Chris Simmons P17, Stephen Bird P18, Dominic Furster P19, Stephen Feuders P20, Jack Clifford P21, Miles Owens P22, Jonathan Vinagre on P23, Stuart Winers on P24, P25 Martin Hobson, Dries Kader P26 and Jess White P27. So we got about half a lap behind the pace car, and let's see how the first time around Senna S is gonna go. Remember last week we had that full course yellow after the first chicane at Monza due to some action on track.
So, come on in. Commentator's curse. Who are you going to go for?
No, I'll leave that up to you, mate. That's all you.
Yeah, we just leave that up to you now.
No fun when I'm on my own. I've got no one else to blame. Well, as Morgan Thompson's had a quiet season, I might as well curse him. I'll go for a Morgan win.
He's going to go for a Morgan win. He's going to, I mean, it all depends on the start, I guess. But I guess we're going to find out as they're about to do half a lap of Interlagos before we all kick off. So well, I will leave you in the capable hands of Mark and Ruben.
Cheers, Phil. Yeah, I think you should be quite happy, Mark, with Morgan in a Ferrari on P2.
Without a doubt.
Callum Brand, next Ferrari, P6. I think that's the first time this season that we've seen the Ferraris being in the top 10, or at least Morgan even on P2. I think Peter now is controlling the pace a little bit, waiting for the pace car to go in, and then we go green, green, green. So pace car close to coming in. And we're off. Peter's gone. And I think it's Mohamed Janko who had quite a good start as well. So let's see how turn 1, turn 2, Senna S is going to go.
Yeah, Nacho Gaspar has gone down a couple of places into 5th, so he didn't have a great start.
Joel Evans, P4 still. Luke McKeon, P3. Lucas right on the back of Morgan Thompson, though. Immediately putting the pressure on. And we all went through turn 1, turn 2 quite well. So, well done by all. Switch from Mohamed Janko to Luke McKeon and back to Mohamed Janko. Both in the Audi R8 for the VSR Falcon Sim Racing. Oh, we have a little off track there. That's Stuart Winers.
Stuart Winers. I was just, he was gonna give us some praise there. He managed to get 3 places at the start as well. So
yeah, he just lost it on the brink. And I think I think
Did
he
well.
himself, as well as others, were quite lucky that nothing major happened with him skidding along on the grass. But he only lost a couple of positions back in P25. It's still Peter Smith leading in front of Morgan Thompson, Luke McKeon, Joel Evans, Nacho Gaspar, Callum Brand, Paul Monet, and we see Mark Fletcher going on the inside. Oh, there's an incident.
Mark Fletcher, that's him off. So who? Let's get another look at that.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. It looked like his the back of his car just stepped out, and he slid into the front of, I think it was Aaron Rose. I have to wait for a replay to come up. And here we're looking at it. Oh, he was just probably a little bit too late on the brake. Saw the car in front, and I think he tried to avoid that car. He straightened it up, and unfortunately had a little bit of contact. And that dropped him back to P20, so he's got quite a recovery drive up his sleeves. Nice little battle between Kieran Smart and Billy Fletcher. Oh, Billy Fletcher hanging around the outside. Is he going to do it? Oh, and Stephen Bird has a little spin. He drops back some positions, moving out of the way of the track to let everybody go through. So, well done. Billy Fletcher on the inside of Kieran Smart. Nice move. Looks like Adam Southgate is trying to come through as well. Yeah. And I think he's got that done. Just having a little bit of a better run. Slips in the slipstream or the draft of Billy Fletcher, but look at that top speed of Kieran Smart though.
Just
still on the outside. And he has to let Adam go. So Adam puts himself P12, Kieran Smart back into P13. Mohamed Janko just switched the position with Paul Monet, and Paul Monet, then again, see him coming back. A little bit of light flashing there going on. I think there was Nacho Gaspar flashing to Joel Evans, so I'm not quite sure if there was a little bit of contact between the two. Well, that was a late move from Mohamed Janko and Paul Monet. Too late. That's why we saw those positions change that rapidly. So a little bit of a gap to Joel Evans. So we got a little group of three, then again a little group of three, and it's Paul Monet and Mohamed Janko trying to follow. He's on board with Chris Simmons. Going for the long run on the main straight, following Matthew Hodges. Mark Fletcher in the meantime clawed back 2 positions, now in P18. Oh, and there's been some position changes between Morgan Thompson and Luke McKeon. And that was going into the center. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Luke as well. So he immediately has to look in the mirrors to defend his position to Joel Evans.
Just wondering if those tyres are still a little bit chilly. They're only done 3 laps.
Oh, nice move there from Nacho Gaspar on Joel Evans, P4.
So got one of his places back. He just needs to try and get past Luke now to get back onto the podium.
Yeah, and that little battle. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, I was just noticing Peter Smith's already carved over a second ahead of Morgan Thompson, and we're only 3 laps in.
Exactly, but I was going to say roughly the same thing. That definitely had to do with Luke going for that overtake on Morgan Thompson into turn 1 at the beginning of this lap. So that gave Peter that little bit of breathing space. And as we know, he's quite good in controlling the pace when he's in front. So let's see how that's going to play out for him.
Paul Meunier now having a look at Callum Brandt, I think. Oh, just pulled out. So it's a nice little train of cars here between 3rd and 8th. Just seeing in the distance. There we go. See him coming through.
Apart from Stuart Wyness and Stephen Bird having their little spin, it's so far so good. It's a lovely static cam seeing all the cars coming out of the center S's. Amazing. Very nice to watch. And since the pressure is off Peter a little bit, he seems to be able to pull a couple of tenths even more on Morgan Thompson. I mean, looking at how close the field yet still is, it only takes a wrong decision or a mistake to lose a lot of positions.
Battle worth keeping an eye on Mark Fletcher, I expect, providing he hasn't got too much damage, to work his way back up. He's already got 2 places back.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit of damage. I don't think it will affect his performance that much, though. I think it's just, as we know, this is one of the strongest seasons we've seen so far, with a lot of people just being very quick on track and consistent. So it's not that easy to go for the overtake, while Luke McKeon again tries to go for a move on Morgan Thompson. Oh, and it's so close.
Oh my God!
So close. Look at Nacho Gaspar now, right on the back of Luke as well. This is going to be a 3-way battle going into turn 3. Nacho Gaspar moving to the outside. Luke.
I don't think he can go 3 wide.
Wow. Look how close it is. 3 wide. We're going 3 wide.
I don't like. I'm going to close my eyes.
And now Morgan Thompson is on the inside for turn 4. Luke's still in front though, but look at that battle made all those cars group up again. It's now 7 cars, all for P2 in the mix, but it's still Morgan Thompson leading that battle in front of Luke McKeon and Nacho Gaspar, Joel Evans, Paul Monet and Callum Brandt. And that gave Peter Smith
miles,
miles. He's now 3.2 seconds ahead, but wow, what a racing we're seeing here. Amazing stuff. Paul Monet on the inside of Callum Brandt.
Oh, and Paul Monet, I was just saying, hasn't quite held.
A little bit of contact. Yeah, a little bit of contact between Paul Monet and Mohamed Janko. I think Mohamed Janko tried to put his car there on the inside while Paul Monet was going for the overtake on Callum Brandt, so that didn't quite play out the way you wanted to. We're seeing it again.
That's Mark Fletcher, isn't it?
And that is Mark Fletcher. So Mark Fletcher moves into P17.
And Nacho Gaspar is just keeping Joe Evans at bay.
Well, Nacho Gaspar is now in P3. Luke McKeon back to P5.
Ooh,
and Nacho Gaspar now on the inside of Morgan Thompson puts himself in P2. So that's quite interesting. The gap to Peter Smith is 4.6 seconds, so he clawed back.
Morgan's now alongside. He's on the outside though.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out. You can keep it around the outside. You can even go on the curbs on the outside there quite a lot.
Not sure if Joel's going to take advantage here as well. He is.
Oh, this is so close. Joel Evans now getting the position from Morgan. Yeah.
He just needs to regroup now. Oh my God, somebody else having a look as well there. Is that Luke?
That's Luke. Wow, what a battle, mate. Holy moly's. So let's see the pace of Nacho Gaspar compared to Peter Smith. Let's see if he's able to claw back some time. It's now 4.6 seconds. But what an amazing battle. Look at the train of cars. Normally it splits up after a couple of laps, but this all came together with them battling right in front of him. And that's what I meant.
Fastest man on the track currently is Morgan Thompson with a 1:32.78. So Morgan has got the pace, but obviously needs to clear track.
But then again, you could be the fastest in the race, but that doesn't have to mean that you're the quickest at the end of the race as well. Oh, we see. I think that was Mohamed Janko going very right out of turn 2. It's now Morgan Thompson trying to put the pressure on. Let me think. That's Joel Evans. Or I think that's Joel Evans. No, sorry, that's Luke McKeon. It's Joel Evans who seems to be able to keep up with Nacho Gaspar. They create a little bit of a gap. Looking back further down, Mark Fletcher still in P17. Stephen Bird now in P21. He was in P25 after his spin, so he gained back some positions. Battle between Lewis Rose and Paul Monet. Wow, Mark, this is heating up. 12 minutes into this race, mate.
It is.
Only 12 minutes, and it feels like what?
It feels like 12 days, doesn't it?
Is this a sprint race? What are we looking at? Amazing stuff. I'm loving this. I bet everybody's loving this.
I bet the drivers aren't.
Well, we've seen some door-to-door action. Well, it was hard, but it was fair. I mean, nobody ended up in a spin or a big incident. So hats off to them racing so hard, so fast. So Nacho Gaspar now with a 132.861. It was his fastest or quickest lap of this race. But still the gap to Peter Smith of 4.7. So he's just controlling while Chris Simmons had a little bit of a wiggle coming out of turn 1.
Wiggle it just a little bit.
Ooh. Yeah, Mark Fletcher got P16.
Yeah, it's working right back up.
Well,
Matthew Dan Breen just going ahead of Matthew Hodges, yeah?
Yeah, and that plays in the hands of Mark Fletcher, closing the gap down to the both of them as well. But I mean, look at the intervals, mate. From P4 to P13. Yeah. They're all so close within. Oh, we see Mohamed Janko dropping quite a lot of positions.
He's gone off.
Quite sure what happened there. He, nearly rejoined. Oh,
the back.
Looked like he spun on his own, although I think
he got tagged as well halfway round, but I don't think that's any fault of the person behind.
No, he
gone.
That rejoin, well, he didn't actually rejoin, but it's not the best position to be on there, on the inside curb.
Right.
But then again,
coming back in.
I think it was Lewis Rose who gave him that little tap, but like you said, Lewis Rose couldn't do anything more than he did. I think it's Paul Monet, although now trying to go for the overtake on Aaron Rose. Will he get that position? Still on the outside, making it the inside for turn 2, and well done by Paul Monet. Nice overtake. Puts himself in P7. Mark Fletcher now in P13. And Chris Simmons dropping back a couple of positions. So, and Mark Fletcher has some clean air now as well. So let's see if he's able to close the gap down to Adam Southgate while we look at a battle between Dominic Furster and Matthew Dambreen.
We're just having a little flick down the leaderboard at the moment. Martin Hobson currently has gone up 4 places, sitting down in 21st. Jack Clifford, Dominic Forster and Billy Fletcher have gone up 3 places each. Nacho Gaspar obviously has gone up 1 and Joe Evans has gone up 2. So they've pushed Luke and Morgan out of the higher spots. The pace amongst I'm just looking at the last couple of laps. The pace in the top 4 is fairly consistent. There's only a couple of attempts in it really, so it's going to be down to errors, I think. Peter's still maintaining 4.8 seconds.
Oh,
ouch!
Billy Fletcher, Lewis Rose, Aaron Rose, and Billy Fletcher now 3 Luxem drivers all behind each other. So was it Lewis Rose who got the position from his brother Aaron? Looks like it. Now looking at Morgan Thompson, or from the back of Morgan Thompson to Callum Brandt, the 2 Ferrari drivers, P5, P6. They are losing a little bit of time to Luke McKeon in P4, who himself is about 1.5 seconds to Joel Evans, his teammate, who's still able to follow Nacho Gaspar, but the gap to Peter Smith, roughly stays the same, doesn't it, Mark? He's just controlling that pace in front.
I mean, their last lap was only 2 hundredths of a second last lap, so it's going to take a lot of laps to claw that back at that rate.
Looking at a replay here, I was going to say Stephen Burth, I think, P21. Am I correct?
Yeah, and Jonathan Vinagre.
Oh, I don't see any damage of the rear's car because of that spin, so I'm not quite sure if there was any contact, maybe some netcode, or if he just touched the grass slightly while braking, which turned his car into... No, I think it was maybe a little bit of netcode, but then again, we've got race control to have a little look into that to see if there was anything wrong or if they deem it a race incident. That's up to Neil, Aaron, and Ed. Wow, Callum Brett really putting the pressure on Morgan.
So Luke McKeown has now closed the gap on Joel Evans. He's only 3 tenths behind him. And Callum Brandt is the same behind Morgan, which we're looking at currently. And Luke McKeown's just taken Joel Evans. I think he's done something there because he's lost a lot of time in that corner, whatever corner he was on.
Yeah, I mean, he was about half a second.
Yeah. Look, you just see him.
Maybe he got a slowdown.
Maybe
he got a slowdown while Chris Simmons has a spin in the background. But yeah, I think it was a slowdown because if you now look at the gap to Nacho Gaspar, it's 2.3 seconds. So, or maybe some RT21. But yeah, not quite sure. Joel definitely seemed to have the pace, but then again, for the championship standings, Luke wants to be in the highest position possible at the end of the race. Here we see probably what's going to happen with Chris Simmons. I think he just took it a little bit too much on the inside curb there. Maybe even a little bit on the cross on the inside and just unbalanced the car too much and spun out. But back on board with Morgan, Mark, trying to fight off the other Ferrari.
Yep. Callum now right on his backside. I think Morgan's just racing defensively at the moment. Nacho Gaspar has now put the fastest lap in a 1:32.67, which actually is a fair bit quicker than the others around him.
Yeah, well, the gap came down from 4.6, 4.7 to 4.0 or 4.1, so...
I think Nacho's done something because the gap's suddenly shot to 5.2, so...
That could be iRacing. It could be iRacing. That sometimes has a little weird thing going on with the intervals, but it's still the 3 Luxem drivers all in a train. It's Lewis Rose leading in front of Aaron and Billy Fletcher. Kieran Smart isn't that far back as well. Kieran Smart in a good 11th position. His highest position he finished in this season was P10, so he probably hopes for some sort of a mistake of the guys in front.
Yeah. There's a little battle at the moment between 8th and 11th.
And again, Nacho Gaspar over a 10th quicker.
And so this could be the opening of the pit window.
Trying to undercut. We know Mark Fletcher had that incident early on in the race.
Well, they got a fast repair, so...
They definitely have. Matthew Dambreen still fighting off Dominic Förster.
Miles Owens also in the pit. I was expecting him to go out for another sort of 5-10 minutes, to be honest.
Well, I think they will be safe though on fuel, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Just trying to go for the undercut. Dominic Furcher now having a little look on the inside of Matthew Dambreen.
And he holds it.
Yeah, has a better traction. Matthew's keeping the inside line, but I still think that Dominic has a better drive out of it. And there you have it. Dominic Furcher puts himself in P13. Jack Clifford is close behind the two as well.
Yeah.
And again, Nacho Gaspar about a tenth quicker than Peter Smith and Luke McKeon as well.
Callum Brandt is just overtaking Morgan Thompson as well.
Oh, Billy Fletcher there for a move, but it's not going to stick, I reckon. Side by side going into turn 2.
Have it.
And look at Kieran Smart. Takes advantage of that overtake that Billy was trying to do for a late dive onto the inside. And it's Callum Brandt and Paul Monet now both through on Morgan Thompson. So Morgan Thompson lost another 2 positions. Remember, he started the race in P2, so he's lost 5 positions now.
Yeah. Is his tyres gone or having a moment?
No, I don't think he had a moment. I think he's just struggling a little bit. Ooh, Kieran Smart. Ooh. Well held, but he lost the position to Billy Fletcher.
Squeaky bum time.
But there's a lot going on track, that's definite. But yeah, I think Morgan is just struggling a little bit, trying to keep up with that pace. Then again, he's still on the back of both of them, so is Paul Monet gonna go for a move into turn 1? He's really close, going to the outside. And it looks... No, he's not pitting. He was just taking a very tight line.
Enough run? No, he hasn't.
Callum Brandt, nice late braking there. So still in front of Paul Monet. And I think we can...
Having a look back in 9th. See him in the background. I think
we have one race penalty, Mark. We have one race penalty. Race control decided that Miles Owens was black flagged due to contact. So he will have a drive-through.
So just looking at Paul Meunier trying to find a way past Callum Brandt.
Morgan Thompson having a little look on the inside, but that will turn into the outside.
Thank you very much. I think he's kept it. Has he kept it? Yes, is he? He has. Ooh, I suppose he didn't come over a little bit more.
Then again, if Paul Monet keeps it on the outside here, oh, Morgan squeezing him a little bit. A little bit contact.
What's the old saying? Rubbing his race in or whatever they say?
Yeah, I would say so. Morgan just squeezing him a little bit. You could say that Sebastian Vettel comes onto the radio. He pushed me off the track. He pushed me off the track.
Nothing wrong with a little love tap.
Oh, and Nacho Gaspar now puts in the quickest lap of this race.
Wow, that is quick.
And he's slowly bringing that gap down. So it's gonna be quite interesting near the end of the race, I reckon. Stephen Bird and Stephen Feuders both coming into the pit. The same goes for Chris Simmons.
Oh, Paul Meunier, I think, has gone off track.
He has. Just a tiny bit, though. He's still behind Morgan Thompson. But we're on board for the battle between Billy Fletcher, Lewis Rose, and Kieran Smart.
He's got those windscreen wipers on, I think, Kieran does. So just coming up to the 17th lap completed. Peter Smith currently leading ahead of Nacho Gaspar in second by 3.5 seconds. who's 3 seconds ahead of Luke McKeon in third. Got a little gap, top 5. So Joe Evans just over 1.5 seconds behind, and Callum Brantley 4 seconds behind. So the front 5 are starting to string it out a little bit. And then we've got a little train behind them. So Kieran Smart at the moment having a little look, currently watching. See if he can get ahead of Lewis Rose into ninth. So he's having to go. He's alongside him into the first corner. Holds it, and he's through.
Yeah, nicely done. The best thing he did there is just stopping the car enough to get a good line into turn 2 as well, covering him enough. But then again, he's now on the outside of Kieran for turn 3. So,
Ooh, I think he's got. It looked like he had a better drive out of there as well, but he's held it.
Oh, a little bit of a tap on the back.
Not fast enough, obviously. There you go.
Lewis misjudged that a little bit, but nothing major. Nothing major.
Oh, who's that diving in? Is that
Miles Owens?
Oh, it's Miles Owens.
Stuart Wines into the
penalty.
pits, just wide as well. Could be his penalty. Yeah. Wow, Nacho Gaspar really having a good consistent lap times. The gap is now 2.8.
I suspect Peter might well be fuel saving because we know he likes to do it when he's out front.
Yeah, although we asked him after the race last week at Monza, of course, and he said, well, that was the best he could do with the fuel saving. So the question is, how much is he able to actually fuel save? Oh, and I think there was there an incident for Nacho Gaspar, because I did saw the interval going up to 4.5 seconds.
He might be having a moment again because it's down to 3 seconds on the live timing, so we'll have a look.
No, he definitely had a little off track there. Oh, and I think he just barely kept it out of the wall. Maybe scraped it a little bit.
Wow.
He nearly did a Grosjean. So Lewis Rose and Dominic First are both in the pit as well. So, and that's Jack Clifford coming in as well. It's quite spread out, isn't it, with all the pit stops that people are making?
Yeah, it's a bit, what's the word? Confusing, I suppose, Doc, in some respect, because you got a lot of false places at the moment. So at the moment, our highest pit is Aaron Rose ahead of his brother Lewis, I assume they're brothers, and they're 14th and 15th. So pit stop, I'm guessing, 30 seconds sort of thing? So I'm guessing in reality, those two are probably in real terms around 8th, I reckon, at the moment. But we'll see. It'll pan out, I suspect, in the next sort of 2-3 minutes. I'm guessing most of them will start diving in now.
So let's have a little look at Mark Fletcher. Mark Fletcher now in P16. I think at the time that he came into the pit, he was in P13. And Stephen Bird in P19 after his early spin, dropping him to P25. And he also had that little contact with the wall. And Luke McKeon now with the fastest lap of this race at 132.5. Oh, little move on the inside from Morgan. Oh, a little bit of door-to-door.
Oh, that could be in a bit of trouble there. Oh, he's gone. The back went. Well, got his place back. But...
Well, both lost the position. Paul Monet went through and Kieran Smart as well. I think...
so, thank you very much.
At first it looked quite good. I think he just got enough space, but then maybe that little bit of unbalance of the car when he got over those curbs at turn 1 threw him into the side.
I think he might have just got caught from flicking. Yeah. I think Morgan might be in a bit of trouble there, but we'll see.
We'll see. It looked quite well. Just unfortunate, but because both had a good race and both lost the position. Well, actually, Morgan lost two positions. Callum Brandt only lost the position to Paul Monet, but Kieran Smart is one of the lucky ones as well, currently in P7. And he's even really close to Callum Brandt as well.
So here we go. Peter Smith's coming, and so is Luke McKeon. Nacho Gaspar is staying out.
And he just did a 132.6 again.
Paul Meunier is also in.
There we see Kieran Smart, Callum Brandt. Yeah, pretty much everyone who hasn't stopped yet is probably going to pit now.
And there we go. Peter's coming out already.
The same goes for Luke McKeon. Joel Evans also stayed out, so he's currently P2.
What was the difference? It was 4 and a bit seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think about 4.1.
So let's see what can happen, because it means I suspect Nacho will be in this lap, so he might just try and stay out possibly a second lap if he's okay on fuel.
And Mark Fletcher, who had one of the earlier pit stops, currently in P10.
Which is
only
where
half a second behind Kieran Smart, so well done.
So he's climbed back well through the race. Makes you wonder what he could have done if he didn't have the issue in the first place.
Exactly. Cheers for the follow, Ignacio Gaspar. Probably
Is that a brother?
It could be a brother of Nacho.
Brother
Who knows?
from another mother.
So I reckon Nacho Gaspar is going to come in.
He's in.
He's in. He's in.
And I presume Joel's going to do the same. He is. So the fuel is. Let's have a look. How far's Peter behind now? So can we go on board with Peter? Peter's 16 seconds and counting. So he's already up to there.
He's already on the main straight, so
he should be out ahead quite comfortably all the time. So coming up the line now. He's overtaken the guys. Nacho Gaspar is just coming out.
Yeah, we just saw him leaving his box.
He's miles ahead.
Well, and obviously he has the temperature in the tires as well to push. Let's see where that gap's gonna lead to. Wow, only 1.7 seconds, only 1.8 seconds. So, whew. Nacho Gaspar had a good stop.
Yeah, he's got another second out of that, isn't he? 1.2, 1.3 seconds.
And with 12 minutes of racing to go, Mark, I think this is going to be very interesting near the end of the race. Nacho definitely had the pace over Peter if we looked at all the lap times earlier on. While Kieran Smart lost a position to Mark Fletcher and Morgan Thompson. So Kieran Smart now in P11.
So I'm guessing another 6 to 7 laps, isn't it? Kieran getting a little bit wide there.
Yeah, Mark on the inside and just didn't have the best run going into turn 2 as well, which eventually made him lose a position to Morgan. And I think Billy even helped Morgan a little bit with the draft coming into turn 3. Sorry, Mark. Mark Fletcher, obviously, for Altitude Esports.
So, interesting at the front now. Nacho Gaspar is only a second and a half behind.
Oh, Callum Brandt is really close on the back of Billy Fletcher as well. Is Callum going to go for an overtake? He's on the outside for turn 1.
Just squeeze that. Yes, it is through.
Well, I think that's Billy still in front of Callum. It was Callum who was trying to go for the overtake on Billy. But Billy defended quite well. But again, as we can see, about 6 cars.
Yep, 6 to 12. Or 6 to 11, sorry.
And Morgan Thompson got a black flag for probably avoidable contact with Callum Brandt. So Morgan Thompson will have a drive-through penalty.
I thought that might be the case.
And I'm not quite sure what happened with Paul Monet, who had quite a good race so far, but he's out of this race. I'm gonna have a little replay here. He's on his own. Oh, he just lost it on his own.
No, pitted
And
back.
yeah, probably the well-known rage quit. Then again, back to the race. And again, oh, now it's Callum trying to go for the inside here on Billy Fletcher. Oh, close to making some
not
contact
fast.
again. Almost had a flashback from Morgan and Callum. But well done by Billy Fletcher, who still holds off Callum for P6. But the fight is on. That does mean, though, that Lewis Rose and Mark Fletcher are going to close down that gap to both of them. So Nacho Gaspar. Oh. Lewis Rose having a little look on Callum Brand. Still side by side. Nope.
Callum holds it. Yeah.
Callum holds it, but he lost the little bit of a toe there from Billy. Billy now has a little bit of a gap behind. Oh, we saw a back marker going out of Billy's way. Well done. And Nacho, as well as Luke, both about 2 to 3 tenths quicker than Peter, who's leading the race still. Only about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah. It's just going up a bit.
Oh no! Morgan puts his he just put his outside tires on the grass there on the rake in and spun the car around.
I was just going to say, fastest lap at the moment is currently Luke McKeon. So
yeah,
he's
was
had a
132.5?
Yeah, 5.6. Yeah, so he's slightly quicker than Nacho, and he put a blinding lap in, didn't he? So there we go. Having a look at 10th to is it 10th to 12th? I'm getting confused here.
Oh, it's Morgan who lost the positions due to his
Of course,
spin.
yeah. Updates on
Now
that.
he's looking at losing another position to Matthew Hodges.
Could well be damaged. He's still fighting it though.
Yeah, and he has that inside line.
Brakes a little bit later there. You just see that.
Oh,
But
and
the
look at
VSR
that.
car says, thank you very much.
Yep, Dominic Forster definitely says thank you very much and goes through on Matthew Hodges. Good move from Dominic.
Oh, that'd be contact then, wouldn't it? Eh?
Mohamed Janko and Matthew Dembreen having a little tussle, and I think it's Mohamed Janko through on Matthew, puts himself in P15. Oh, and look at the battle in front, boys. It's Nacho Gaspar now under a second or close to a second on Peter Smith. And we're close to the last 5 minutes of this race. And this is going to be interesting. Nacho Gaspar for the R70 racing team. I don't think Peter Smith took enough track there. One little bit wide on the exit of turn 3.
Actually, thinking about it, I presume, is there instant limit with a drive-through?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
But then again, if you manage to maybe not even get an off track so far or so late into this race, you could abuse him a little bit, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to use everything you got to stay in front, but look at that. Nacho Gaspar definitely has the pace. Peter Smith maybe even is struggling a little bit. It's now roughly half a second.
Well, it's obviously one thing to catch someone, it's another to get past them.
That's definitely true.
So I reckon we've got 3 laps to go. Just gone up to the start-finish now.
Mark, there you have it, mate.
Yep.
Driver of the day.
Driver of the day. So I suspect this must be a lastminute.com. Somebody's already gone Farrah Rosie. Look, his father, mum and dad must be on. Dominic Forster. Already been voted for. So all you got to do is type in the number in chat to the corresponding driver on the list. Not their race number, not their positional number, just the number that's alphabetical. in the driver of the day scrolling along bottom right hand corner of the screen. Simples. I'm going to wait to the end because I suspect there's more to come.
Yeah, Nacho Lopez, number 27 is Nacho Gaspar. So if you want to give him your vote for driver of the day, it's number 27. There you have it. Somebody already put in 27.
That was his brother, wasn't it? Inacho that was on. No, not Inacho.
Ignacio, I think it was. Oh,
You'll have to
but
vote for yourself in.
oh, Billy Fletcher. In the meantime, I'm having a little look. Makes the move done on
Mark
Callum
Fletcher.
Brandt. So what did I say? Billy Fletcher again?
Yeah, it's Mark Fletcher.
Oh,
yeah.
my bad. I mean Mark Fletcher. I'm sorry. Mark Fletcher now is in P7, but he is on the back of Billy Fletcher. Back on board with Peter Smith and Nacho Gaspar.
So for those of you looking for a bit of inspiration at the moment, Dominic Forster and Billy Fletcher have both gone up 7 places from their starting position. Dries Cadet's gone up 4 places. And then we've got Mark Fletcher, Adam Southgate, and Stephen Futers, Jonathan Vinagre, and Stuart Winers, and Jez White, all gone up 3. So.
Oh, while you say that, we saw Peter Smith struggling going through turn 1 and turn 2, and it's now Nacho Gaspar within 0.2 of a second.
2 laps, I think. This one plus one other.
And again, he missed the apex there, so it's...
bit pressure.
Yeah.
But...
I think he just seems to be struggling on having just lack of grip. While the Audi seems so stable. Is he going to have a little look on the inside? No. Peter Smith goes for the defensive move.
If I was Peter, you can afford to let Nacho through, because I'm trying to think back to the table. Who's second at the moment? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, maybe then again,
I think Torres was second, was he? And he's not racing tonight. I'm just trying to remember.
Well, we'll have to wait until the end of the race. I think Peter just wants to win the race, actually. But then again, Nacho Gaspar has a better car.
Play your percentages. But saying that, it's going to be a 1-lap shootout, isn't it? So just coming up to the end of the 28th lap.
Will we have the white flag?
This will be the last lap, yeah. 1.5 minute a lap.
I think it will be. This time, Peter has a little bit better drive through turn 1 and turn 2, the Senna S's. So again, if you want to put in your driver of the day vote, put in the number in front of the name you see on the list scrolling through your screen. So far, Aaron Rose, Dominic Forster got some votes. Nacho Gaspar got some votes. On board with Billy Fletcher and Mark Fletcher, both in the Lambo.
Not related either, I don't think.
Nope. Jess Spain is following. Cheers. Welcome to CXR TV, hosting round 6 at Interlagos in the GT3 World Championship. Oh, Billy Fletcher having a lot of moments. He nearly lost it, but he lost definitely 2 positions to Mark Fletcher and Callum Brandt. But back on board. Oh, is this going to be... Oh, some flashing here from Nacho Gaspar. Maybe it makes him a little bit faster, but it doesn't.
Light the battery. So wow, Peter's going to take the win.
Closest finish we've seen so far. What a drive. Hats off to, I must say, hats off to Nacho Gaspar for the drive he had.
That's a great finish. Luke McKeown finishing in 3rd to round out the podium. Joe Evans just crossing the line in 4th. Along in 5th is Aaron Rose. Mark Fletcher, great recovery from a bad start, finishes in 6th. Callum Brandt 7th. Billy Fletcher 8th. Lewis Rose 9th. And Kieran Smart, top 10 finish.
I think Billy just decided to... yeah. Kieran Smart, by the way, with his 2nd 10th position finish in this league. Probably enjoyed this race as well. Stephen Futers, Chris Simmons, Jack Clifford all finished their race. Now we're waiting on Jonathan Vinagre, Stuart Wyness, and Dries Kader to come across the line. So Jonathan takes the last points position, P20. Wow, what a race, guys. Holy moly. What a race.
Yeah, wow, that was insane. I've never seen so many like great battles. I've never seen so many overtakes going into turn one and completed successfully. I mean, yeah, there were a few incidents, but it's an incident track, unfortunately. It's just one of those circuits which actually brings the incidents. So
yeah, and I think the incidents weren't that major as well. But let's go to the race results, Mark.
Okie dokie. So Peter Smith keeping his nose ahead of Nacho Gaspar in second, Luke McKeon in third, Joel Evans fourth, Aaron Rose fifth, Mark Fletcher sixth, Cameron Brandt seventh, Billy Fletcher eighth, ninth was Lewis Rose, 10th Kieran Smart, 11th Adam Southgate, Dominic Forster in 12th, Mohamed Yanko in 13th, Matthew Hodges 14th, Matthew Danbury in 15th, Stephen Bird 16th, Stephen Futers 17th, Chris Simmons in 18th. Big breath. Jack Clifford in 19th, Darker in 20th, Stuart Wyness 21st, Dries Kader 22nd, Jez White 23rd, Miles Owen 24th, Morgan Thompson 25th, Paul Munier 26th, Martin Hobson finishing things in 27th.
Were you trying to set a record there, Mark?
I think he was. That was pretty damn fast, wasn't it?
But as I was going to say, yeah, we've seen some incidents, but I don't think they were that major. It was just a lot of door-to-door banging and racing, and very good to watch. A lot going on track. An amazing race, and here we've got the championship standings. And look at that, Luke McKeon, yeah,
carving out now a 29-point lead, so he can have a round off at the moment. Yeah, Luke McKeon, great finish, goes up in. Well, he stays second.
He was second in the championship.
Yeah, sorry, yes, you're quite right.
But Nacho Gaspar now
Torres loses a position to his teammate.
Yes,
Mark Fletcher actually, surprisingly, even though he didn't have the best of races, still actually gains a position on Stephen Bird.
Stephen Bird finished 16th, unfortunately.
Didn't also have one of the best of races.
But a lot. Joe Evans shoots up 4 places down in 12th, which is good to see. And everyone in between is not going anywhere. So, yeah, rounding out nicely. I think, obviously, Peter, now we've got 2 rounds left. So, Peter can almost go around.
He can relax a little bit. He just needs to seal the deal at Spa, having a good race at Spa, don't take any risks, and he can seal the championship right there. But then again, looking at Luke McKeon, who has a 3 points lead over Nacho Gaspar, and even Jaume Torres, Mark Fletcher, Stephen Bird, all close together with points. So Mark Fletcher could even grab 4th position, and depending on Nacho Gaspar, actually maybe even gets a P3 in the championship with 2 races left. So still a lot to play for. And looking at it, I don't think everybody in this championship has scored some points somewhere. No, not everyone. Although Stephen Norman isn't racing anymore.
I don't think are racing except Jez. I mean, Arnold Chanier only raced the first season, didn't he?
Yeah.
The first round.
And I think Jez White didn't make every race this season. So, yeah, looking at the people that scored points, they're still racing. So, well done. I must say hats off to everyone tonight. We had a clean race. We had no full course yellow this time around. I think this was one of the best races so far we had this season. Looking at the qualifying, P1 to P3, only 0.006 of a second in between. After a 45-minute race, 0.2 between P1 and P2 coming across the line. What else could we wish for? Yeah, good stuff, man.
And just for those wondering, Luke McKeon had the fastest lap with a 1:32.56.
Well, that brings us, Phil, to driver of the day.
Ooh. Yeah, driver of the day. Let me just bring it back up on screen, and then we can close it. Close the poll. Finish the poll. We had 16 votes. Actually, I think it's split. It's between Dominic Forster and Nacho Gasper as well. Also got 3 votes, so 3 votes each, 18.8% of the vote. So congratulations to both of those drivers for a split driver of the day this week.
Oh, there you go. And I can give you a little insight on Paul Monet. He apparently had a drive-through or a stop and go for speeding in the pits, and that got in his head so much that after his spin, he sort of rage quitted, as we said, but he apologized to everyone and the organization. So hats off to Paul for putting in that message in our Discord channel. Cheers. I don't see anybody in the interview waiting room tonight, boys.
Yeah, I don't
What's
see
that?
anybody. It looks like we're getting an early night.
Oh,
we're getting an early night, boys.
I'm all knackered, mate, with the race we had so far. So
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I that couldn't have gone any better. After the last time that we raced at Interlagos, I was a little bit nervous, especially with having Monza last week where we did have that yellow flag. I thought we would maybe have 2 weeks in a row, so I couldn't be happy with this race.
I think we were lucky that it was last week. That maybe was still in the heads of everybody, like, okay, we have to be a little bit more cautious going into turn 1 because it is a 45-minute race. And,
yeah, possibly.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, wow.
So next week we are at Spa. So
yeah, next week that should be good. Some high speed, some high speed GT3 racing at Spa, which obviously
is what the car's built for, isn't it?
Exactly. So that should be fun. And then following week we will be rounding up this championship with Silverstone.
Yeah, if I was Peter, I'd definitely take that last week off. Silverstone.
I think
to make it interesting, we just ban him for next week. He's not driving at Spa.
He can still go around with a cigar on the last day. He ain't gonna make no odds, I don't think. I think Peter's right.
Well, it would drop the points down to probably roughly four points.
That's on the basis that Luke wins the next race, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, amazing stuff.
Unless you want to conjure up a 40-point penalty for something.
Right, I think we may as well wrap up there then, since we have no interview.
I think we have to.
We have no
interviews to do. We have no
Nobody
friends,
wants to talk to us. What?
That's all good. That's all good. We won't take it personally. So Spa next week, same time, 8:15. Cheers to Ruben and Mark for their awesome commentary, and also to Neil, Aaron, and Ed in race control. So stellar job as always. Cheers to everyone for watching, and see you next week. Cheers, boys.
And thank you for pushing your buttons, Phil.
I love pushing the old buttons. Catch you next week, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
No.